Hello, everyone, and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I am Scott Carney. I have Ali and Scotia with me tonight. But before we go any further, we are devastated at the news today of the passing of legendary kitman Jimmy Bell. Our thoughts go out to his family at this very sad time. A club statement read today: Rangers Football Club are today devastated to announce the death of our much-loved legendary kitman Jimmy Bell. Jimmy, who has served the club for over 30 years and been a friend and confidant to numerous generations of players and staff, will be so sadly missed by everyone at Rangers Football Club. Ali, we've said it before about the word legend being passed about quite a lot. However, Jimmy Bell is that and some, and he'll be very sadly missed.
Yeah, it was devastating news this morning to hear about that. I mean, it's the biggest week in the history of our football club, potentially, in terms of what we can achieve on Thursday night. And for the news of that, it's so sad. He's 69 years of age. He's been at Rangers something like 41 years or something. I mean, kit men and other football teams you don't really hear about, but Jimmy Bell's he's a legend of our football club, and he's one of us. I mean, he is one of us, Jimmy Bell. He's not just a kit man, Jimmy Bell. I mean, he'll tell a lot of these foreign players that come into Rangers what it's all about. He plays a vital role in that backroom staff. Although, yes, he's a kit man, but he played a vital role, and it's so sad. It really is, because, like I say, we've got a huge week ahead of us here, and it's devastating news, and obviously condolences to his family and stuff. But it's he is a legend. It's similar to Walter Smith. We've grown up with Jimmy Bell. He's been there through. I mean, we'll also come on and talk about him a wee bit, but it's devastating news for the Rangers family. But I just hope we can put on a show for him on Thursday, because he'll be looking down on us on Thursday along with Walter.
Definitely. Scotia, Ali's made a point there. Jimmy Bell was just always there. I mean, the whole time I've grew up and watched Rangers, Jimmy Bell was always just there. He was always just part of the staff. No matter who came and went, what managers came and went, Jimmy remained, and it's a big loss for the club.
This is an absolutely massive loss, and firstly, condolences to Jimmy Bell's family. But it's a huge loss for the Rangers family and the Rangers team in itself. Because, like you say, there, 41 years he's been there. All the managers he's been through, but he's always been there and always been a constant as well. He's been probably the biggest constant in my lifetime at Rangers, really, for what he does. And yeah, I had family around today, so I've not really managed to catch up in much on the interwebs and things, but I've quickly seen some of the posts from hundreds of ex-players. I've not managed to read through them all, but loads of them, and they all just kind of reiterate how important he was for them coming into the club, settling into the club. He was there to kind of just, he teaches everyone that comes in that maybe doesn't know anything about Rangers, this is what you need to be, because sometimes you might not have players that have been there long enough to actually do that. Jimmy Bell was always there, and he's been through all that history with us, the success with Souness coming in, Walter Smith's 9 in a row, Advocat, McLeish, and then obviously what happened in the last decade, and then rising back to the top. He's been there throughout it all, and he's going to be such a huge loss to the football club.
Definitely. I mean, he lived his dream. Do you know what I mean? He worked for his Boys Who club for so many years, and I heard David Edgar saying that he worked right up to the end, and he did do that. There was no kind of down for him. He kind of done what he done right up until the end. But he was a true standard setter, and you're right what he was saying. When players are coming into this club and they don't understand it, 5 minutes with Jimmy Bell, and you would have known exactly what Rangers was all about. And I think one of my favourite bits from him has been the infamous Gerrard video when he's entering Gerrard's getting announced as manager. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerrard, and that's it. That's all you got from Jimmy Bell, just professional as ever, not intimidated by anybody, no, even if it was Steven Gerrard. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerrard, and he hangs up the kits. Ali, I think Scotia makes a point as well. The amount of ex-pros and current players as well. I think everybody's pretty much put out a post, but it's the ex-pros that continue to come out and thank Jimmy Bell for their time at Ibrox, and as well, I think you can't really underestimate the impact he had on players. I have not known coaches' names at Rangers in my time. I've always known Jimmy Bell's name.
Yeah, I've looked on Twitter today. All of them, huge football players that have played for Rangers, have come out and said what he did for them. Jermaine Defoe put a good one on. He was winding Defoe up in terms of saying he hadn't won anything. So there's a few that I think a lot of them have got a lot of stories about him. He's got quite a dry sense of humour, Jimmy Bell. I think he's along the lines of Alan McGregor, I would say. I would put him in. Yeah. I would put him in terms of that sense of humour. He doesn't take fool's glad. He winds folk up, but it's just the way his sense of humour is. But he's I'll be sadly lost to be honest for Rangers. I mean, 41 years as a kit man. I mean, that's some going. I mean, way back to when Souness was squashed around him off there. Souness, Walter, Advocat, McLeish, Le Glen, Mark Warburton, Kashinya, I mean, all the way to Gerrard and to Van Bronckhorst. And the amount of players he would have seen at Ibrox, world-class players that he's been around and taught them. And I mean, you seen when Gio came in as manager and he went straight up to him. And it was like, how we doing, Jimmy? Again, that's what he's about, Jimmy Bell. They all love him, and everyone have come out and said about him. And like I said earlier on, you don't hear about kitmans of other teams, but you know who Jimmy Bell is. You ask anyone in Scotland who Jimmy Bell is, they know who he is, regardless of who they support. If Celtic fans, they know who Jimmy Bell is. He's all, like you say, Carney, he's always been there since we've grown up, and he is a constant because who else has been there that long at Rangers? And that's it. Kind of symbolises what Rangers are about, to be honest, because there's been a lot of people you don't really see, but you hear about in the background in terms of the tea ladies, etc. They've all been there for God knows how many years, and he's just another one, Jimmy Bell. But sadly lost to the Rangers family. But like I say, I really hope we put a show on for him on Thursday night, and I remember him for what he was, Jimmy Bell, because he was a true Rangers man, like you say, Carney. Lived the dream, and he was one of us. And he told players coming to the Rangers what it's about. So, yeah, devastating news. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say about the man, because he's fantastic man. And like I say, I just hope we can do it for him on Thursday and get to a European final.
Yeah, Scotia as well. It's hard to sum up Jimmy in a kind of short space of time. But again, even Josh Windass's tweet today, and he loves a tweeter, Josh. But when he asked Jimmy Bell for gloves, and he went, Brian Laudrup didn't wear gloves, and that's what you mean about the guy. Just he lived and breathed Rangers. It was running through his blood, and again, I'll reiterate what I said. I knew coaches. I didn't know coaches' names at Ibrox, but I always knew Jimmy Bell. So the influence that he had on players, even though he's not a coach, it will be missed.
Totally, yeah. He's one of these guys that keeps players grounded, I think. You know, he always kept them on the ground and focus on what's important for that. You know, like you said there, I think Rangers as a club have been very lucky to have a figure like Jimmy Bell that I've always known him really. And supporting Rangers, I've always kind of been aware of who Jimmy Bell was. Like you say, there's maybe other teams that you don't know their kit man, and like Ali said there about, I've heard stories in the past about tea ladies and other kind of backroom staff that are there, and you know the players always talk about, and we've been very lucky to have a figurehead really of what that represents, and he's a part of the fabric of the club.
Yeah, and I think he forever will be. He'll always be remembered and very, very sadly missed. Devastating news. But as I say, it's a guy that lived his dream, and I'm sure there'll be many, many good stories to come out about him. I'm sure we'll hear a lot because a true legend, literally a true legend. And again, I'll reiterate that we all here pass on our best to his family. As I say, it was all very sudden. I don't think anybody was expecting it. So kind of makes it harder when it's like that, I suppose. But yeah, I can't imagine what his family are going through just now. So we just pass on our best. I'm not being presumptuous here. But if I knew Jimmy, and I think if Jimmy knew this podcast, he would like to think that the show must go on. That's what I'd like to think. So we'll try our hardest to move on to it and trying to get into our usual club deck corner stuff. But there was no way we weren't going to start with that. So rest in peace, Jimmy. You will be sadly missed. So we'll move on as best way possibly can. You can't really transition after speaking about something like that. It's very hard to do. So this week we will debrief the 1-1 Old Firm draw at Parkhead, and we will turn the excitement levels up to 11 as we look ahead to the massive second leg semi-final tie even against Leipzig at Ibrox on Thursday night. Before we get to that, I have to give a massive shout out to all of you that are in and about the comments. You will know him as Dundee Taylor, who joined the Coffee Buying Legend membership the other day via the Buy Me a Coffee website. Amazing, Dundee. Thank you so much for choosing us to support us that way by signing up to the membership. Absolutely mega staunch points for life. So thank you very, very much indeed. Right, gents, we'll start with the 1-1 draw. At Parkhead on Sunday. After going a goal down, Rangers come back in the second half to draw level with a great goal from Mr. Waka Waka Sakala, and can consider themselves unlucky not to take all 3 points. Not as many changes in the squad as we probably expected. However, a tremendous second half effort collectively, I think, put a halt to a premature title party. So the first half, we'll start with the first kind of 20 minutes or so. Ali, Rangers looked up for it. I thought Big John leading the charge as you would like to think he was going to. And almost when the goal came, mate, I almost felt like it was against the run of play.
Yeah, I sat watching with Scotia in a pub, and I thought the first 20 minutes Rangers were very good. I thought we looked very comfortable, knocking the ball about lovely. They looked like the home team, if you have to say. Rangers, the way they were controlling the ball, Lundstrom in particular, Goldson at the back, thought was good. We controlled the whole of that 20 minutes that you're talking about. Ryan Kent was very unlucky at the back post. I think it was Lundstrom fizzed it across, and he's at the back and was unlucky. The only thing I would say is although we had a lot of the ball, we did struggle with an out ball in terms of Sakala was out wide, Joe Rebo was a kind of false nine. We did struggle a wee bit, but didn't really have a focal point. But like you said, the first 20 minutes, I was more than happy at that point. I thought we were good. I did look at the Celtic team before, and I looked at their midfielder, McGregor, Hatate, who's fallen off the face of the earth for them, I think. I know O'Reilly. I thought we could get joy in there, especially with Lundstrom, Arfield, Davis. I thought we could boss that midfield, and I thought we did, to be honest. It's just a shame we didn't have a Kamar Roof or an Alfredo Morelos, because I think we would have won that game. But first 20 minutes, as you say, I was more than happy, to be honest.
Yeah, I was feeling rather good about it as well. I sat and watched it with podcast friend Jamie Lowe. I've got to call my podcast friend because I'm not sure when he's coming back. Podcast friend Jamie Lowe. I wish he was still come back. And but no, I think we both felt rather good after the kind of first. Well, as good as you can feel in the first 20 minutes of an Old Firm. You never really feel good during an Old Firm game, but I thought we started well, Scotia, and we silenced the crowd pretty quickly, especially that chance for Kent, as Ali mentioned. I thought that put the frighteners up them a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, exactly the same as yourself and Ali. I felt really comfortable, felt, no, we can go on and win this. You know, we obviously started the game back at Ibrox really well as well, but that fell off after 4 minutes. But we were doing this for 20 minutes, and I was going like, right, no, this is how you want the game to go, playing really well, knocking it about well. Kent had another wee sort of chance where he took a long range effort as well, but it was just straight at Joe Hart. I mean, it was Kent that was hitting it, so I didn't really have any confidence when the ball left his foot, but it was a decent chance, and I think in that 20 minutes we definitely had the best of the chances in the first 20. Yeah, like you, I was thinking, no, keep up at this, and this could be a good afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. And then we go a goal down. Obviously, Rangers start a game really good, and then go a goal down. Why would we not do that? But this one was, look, we always pick holes in Rangers goals, as you do. You never really give credit to the other team, unless it's a Wildy. This one just isn't. Tav and Goldson, are they really poor defensively, letting Maida, I think, run through them. Goldson kind of gets caught wrong-footed, and it just gives him that wee half a yard. And we all know he has pace, that guy, and he's very little else. He puts a decent cross into the box, nothing spectacular, and Borna Barisic is sleeping again at the back post. To say I was angry at this one, mate, that's probably an understatement, because it was like a carbon copy of one that we'd seen previously at the start of the year.
Yeah, I text our group chat to say I've seen that goal umpteen times this season. I have, and it kind of sums our season up. To be honest, all the ball the first 20 minutes, they have one attack and they score. And we've seen it all season. That the whole game kind of symbolised our season in bits, to be honest, but. Yeah, Tad doesn't do well. Either there's Golds and Bassies, was he got a chance to possibly try and he kind of lets it go. Barisic at the back post sleeping. I think he got the most of the blame from people, to be honest, round about us.
He did me anyway. I gave him most of the blame.
Yeah, I know Ryan gave him the blame. And it's he's one of Ryan's pals at the moment. And it's in the back of the net, and you're looking at each other at that point going, they're one up without really kicking a ball. We started well. What do Rangers do now? Do we crumble and just fall apart, or do we get it back on the ball, like I said to Scotia after it, start playing our game again and try and come back into it? But it was a bit of a sucker punch, to be honest, because Celtic did nothing. But at the end of the day, they put the ball in the back of the net, and we didn't when Ryan Kent had a chance. So it summed our season up a wee bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it summed up our lack of real cutting edge quality that we have just now in the final third, Scotia, that we probably, Ryan Kent's unlucky, I think, with the chance that he has. I do think that's unlucky. I mean, he tries to get a finish on it, but he should maybe do better, but I think that would be being uber critical of him. But yeah, this goal, mate, it was just like, of course, Rangers, just give some poor defending in, why don't we?
Yeah, against the run of play, like Ali says there, and I know Barisic is taking it in the neck the most for that, and he sees the most visual error that gets made. But like Ali said and yourself say there, Goldson and Tav aren't doing great to prevent the boy running down, and I think Bassi was slightly caught off guard as well, that his positioning could have been a wee bit better. But this has been the problem with our defence all season. It's goals like these that we've conceded because one mistake begets another mistake, and it just all crumbles to pieces. Wasn't great. I did feel a wee bit sorry for Barisic because I knew he was going to take it in the neck, but it was poor, so you can't hide from the fact that it was poor there. But so were the rest of the defenders, I would say, as well. And to be honest, I had the fear that Barisic was going to go down one of Barisic's shaped missing holes. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same feeling, mate. I thought, that's him absolutely spent for the rest of the game. I think if he hadn't had that mistake in the last Old Firm at Parkhead, then he probably wouldn't get as much stick. But it's just the same thing. You just turned your back on your man, and he's just been caught out. I don't know who scored that one though. I don't know if it was Jota that scored that one.
It was Jota that scored.
Was it Jota? So it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. So anyway, so the rest of the half, I think Rangers looked a wee bit. I've watched the game back yesterday. What day were we on? Tuesday. I watched the game back yesterday, and we kind of lost our way a wee bit. And towards the end of the first half, we didn't really get a grip of it. Again, Celtic did have a few chances to probably make it 2-0, if I'm going to be honest, especially one again from Maida that he should score. He absolutely bricks it because he thinks Alan McGregor's about to knock him into the stands. But even at that, it wasn't. That one's probably a gilt-edged chance and maybe Jota's header. But I think by the time we got to half time, it was a bit of a sigh of relief from probably all Rangers fans. Like, we get a chance to reset. Ali, before we move on into the second half, and I know you like to run away with everything that I say, mate, but at half-time, mate, I will put my hand on my heart right now, mate. I didn't want Sakala to come back out for that half. I thought Lundstrom was really good in the middle of the park. I thought Davis was doing as much as he possibly could. I thought Bassi was solid enough, but there was not a lot coming from the top end of the pitch. And Joe Aribo as a false 9 for me is also a no. It doesn't work. But the one that was getting the most from me, honestly, was Sakala. I was ready for driving to Parkhead and take them off the park myself.
Yeah, I think if you were in the pub with me in Scotia as well, Sakala was the one everyone was shouting about. He looked lost at times in that first Sakala, as if he didn't know where he was supposed to be. I remember looking at him one point and he was away back, kind of right back at one point, and I was like, what's he actually doing here? He did look a bit clueless in the first half, Sakala, and I mean, Scotia will back us up. Everyone in the pub was calling him all sorts and get him back to Zambia and all this and get him off the park. And yeah, in fact, me and Scotia were even talking, going, do you bring Cedric Itten on and put him through the middle? And Scotia said, do you bring Diallo on to try and, because we might as well just throw the dice, because the league's done. That is done. And we might as well throw something different. Yeah. But yeah, I was the same as you, Carney. I wanted to get to half-time 1-0 because we did lose our way. They probably should have been 2 up. But yes, Sakala was the guy that I was saying, Scotia and the rest of the pub were saying, get him off now because he is frustrating the hell of it, to be polite. Yeah. But I would have taken him off too.
We should know, not to write things off or to be particularly happy at half-time or, sad at half-time, because it always comes back and slaps us in the face. I'm glad they didn't do a half-time podcast, because I would have been another one where I was like, oh, I got that one wrong, because I was like, no, not for me. Obviously, Scotia, we get into the second half and there is no changes. Were you expecting more of the same, or were you expecting Rangers to come out the traps a wee bit? I think I honestly, mate, I was a wee bit not shocked, pleasantly surprised, I'll say, by the way that we started that second half.
Yeah, I mean, when the teams came back out, I was pretty surprised, and I wasn't feeling great about it, because I was, like Ali says, screaming for Sakala. I wanted Arfield off as well, because I think he'd lost his way. And then I was like, well, Barisic was slipping. In that first half, he was slipping into just making mistakes, and you could tell he looked really nervous. And I was like, take him off and push Bassi back out. So when the team came out with no changes, I was a bit surprised. But then it's the tactical tweaks that Gio's made that then I was like, right, okay, so he's now playing Sakala essentially. Great, we need that, because Aribo, as you mentioned, didn't really do much. So once I'd seen the tweaks tactically, I was feeling a bit more confident, but I wasn't feeling confident when I didn't see any substitutions.
Yeah, Ali, who would have thought? And all of us probably see, when you put that Celtic team under a wee bit of pressure, they don't really tend to do very well. When we press them, when any team presses them, see, the reason Celtic are not in the Johnston's Paint Trophy or European Trophy or the Europa League Trophy tournament even, is because teams put them under pressure and they don't know how to cope with that. And Joe Hart is awful with his feet, with the ball at his feet. Even worse than McGregor, I think. Genuinely, I don't think he's very good. And as soon as we started to put them under pressure, they couldn't get out, and the momentum for us was just building and building in that half.
Yeah, no, I thought we started really well the second half. Like you say, Sakala through the middle, and we were pressurising them, and they looked a bit clueless in the second half, Celtic, to be honest. I think they were just, they obviously they didn't want to lose the game, but in case it brings it back to 3 points, but even at that, it's still done. But no, if you press their backline, I mean, they had a backline of Anthony Ralston. Come on. He's not great at Ralston. When I seen he was playing, I was like, Kent can have a field day with him. I didn't think Ryan Kent had a go at him as much as I would have liked, to be honest. And you've got that Carter Vickers, who's all right, to be honest. That Starfelt, who bomb scare. And Taylor at left back, who to me is just a bog standard left back. That's all he is. So yeah, they're not overly great, Celtic, but yeah, if you press them, you'll get joy, and I could see us getting joy that second half. But the only thing I was thinking was, where's the goal going to come from? Because we were still a bit powder puff up front in terms of Sakala's through the middle, but he's that unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do half the time, which kind of sums him up, to be honest, in that second half. But we were all looking at each other in the pub going, yes, we're having all the ball here, but who's going to score the goal for us?
Yeah. we did dominate the half. We still had our moments at the back. There was one again for Maida, again proving my point that he isn't actually a very good football player, because he should do much better, or at least get it on target, and he doesn't. He skies it well over. However, I think that's the one that he's actually offside for. Is that right?
Offside, yeah.
Yeah, so that one's offside, which was, well, what was it? Did they give it?
Did they give offside? Didn't give it.
No,
didn't give it.
no, they didn't give it. No, of course they didn't. Why would they? Why would they give offside? And then we were called offside as well. That was, in fact, that was at one each. We were called offside with Sakala. So the standard of referee is great, or linesman in Scotland is great, not. But it did take until changes were made, Scotia, before we actually got the goal. Sakala definitely moved very central after we made the changes, and I thought this goal was great. After seeing it back a few times, it's a really good goal. Scott Wright does really well, really slick. One touch give and goes with Arfield, gets it to Kent. Kent does great actually to control the ball and get on the turn to slip in Sakala, and the finish from Fashion Sakala is superb. Low hard at the keeper's near post, absolutely buries it, and everybody eats their own words and starts singing Waka Waka.
Yeah, because when those changes get made as well, I was still like, why is Sakala still on the pitch? And then a few minutes later, eat my words, yeah. So, yeah, no, it was good. And it was good to see that. Wright coming on impressed me once again. That's a few games in a row now that when he's ever played a part, he's looked to the kind of standard that we thought we were going to get with him. The goal itself was really nicely well worked, and you could kind of see it was coming once those changes had been made, and we turned the screw a wee bit after those changes get made, because I do think we were maybe a wee bit too passive in the second half before them, while probably controlling the game. We were a wee bit too passive, and no, it was great. Knew it was going to happen, and yeah, like you say, the Waka Waka man proves me wrong. He's one of these players that, because he didn't have that much time to think, and he takes it inside the near post, Joe Hart thinks he's going to go across him, so you could see Joe Hart like having to jump back the other way, and yeah, it was a great wee goal.
Yeah, it was a great goal, an absolutely great goal. It was that good that kind of took me one of the brief kind of half seconds to realise that he'd actually scored it. It was a great finish, and Ali, the goal was great, and then even after that, he started doing like hold up work and stuff. He was holding off centre backs, like winning balls, bringing it down, playing it off, and I was like, who would have thought Fashion Sakala likes to play through the middle and he's not a wide player?
Yeah, after that goal, and that was a great goal, by the way. See the build-up play with that Scott Wright into Arfield and the one-touch play for Rangers. Brilliant. What a finish, by the way. Similar to you, Carney. The pub kind of paused for a second, kind of going, Christ, we just scored it. And it was Sakala. And we were singing a Waka Waka. I think the guy beside me, Scotia, went, I'm going to slag him off more often. And we were all going, who else could be slagging this Rangers team? But no, fair play to Sakala. I mean, he get pelters for the pub. I know he can't hear us in the pub, but he get pelters in there. But fair play to him. But like you say, Carney, after that, it was as if he got a new lease of life, and he turned into a football player, and he terrorised them. And literally about 5 minutes later, he was bullied them through and goal again, and puts Hart into a decent save, to be fair. But yeah, as soon as he went through that middle there, he just looked up for it, and he just turned into a different player. But it kind of summed Fashion Sakala up, because that's what he is. Nobody knows what we're going to get with him half the time. He can be utter dire or brilliant, and we've seen both sides of Sakala in that game. But yeah, it's if when he got that goal, and it was a terrific goal, it gave him a sort of rock up the arse, and then he was buzzing to keep going.
Absolutely. We do get two great chances to take the lead. One you mentioned there, a good save by Joe Hart a decent save by Joe Hart for Sakala's shot, and then the Scott Wright when he bursts into the box and cuts it back to Arfield, I think it is. Yeah. And Joe Hart does well to save it, and then the follow-ups from Ryan Jack, who pretty much passes it back to him. You're like, God, you want to stick your boot through it? Do you know what I mean? Just absolutely, he just kind of passes it back to him. And yeah, and then the real one, Scotia, that we probably should take the lead with quite near the end. Great ball by Arfield to slip through Sakala. Sakala's away. I'm thinking, I don't know if he's going to score. Everybody's thinking the same thing. I don't know if he's going to score either. And he strikes a post, and it honestly, like 2-3 inches more to the left-hand side, and that probably goes in. It was so unlucky for him. I can't be too critical, mate, because I ripped him apart in the first half, and in the second half, he got us back into the game. He's really unlucky with this one.
Yeah, I think so. He does really well. He uses his pace really well, uses his body quite well as well to just kind of shrug the defender off again and gets away, runs at it. I'm up in my seat ready to start celebrating, and then it just bounces back off the post agonisingly. And I was gutted because it would have been, like Kelly said earlier, ultimately winning probably doesn't do anything for the league, but it would just give me that wee extra couple of games of probably false hope, but hope nonetheless.
Yeah, I was just more than happy we didn't get beat. If I'm going to be completely honest, I'm just happy we didn't get beat. We stopped there, as I say, their premature title party. So that was the most pleasing thing for me. But I do think we were quite right to feel a wee bit disappointed at the end of that game that we didn't win it. I thought we were by far the better team in the second half. And I know Celtic were maybe the better towards the second half of the first half, if that makes sense. But for the majority of that game, I thought Rangers were the better team, and we probably should have. With a Morelos there, I think we won that. I don't think there's really any great doubt about that. I think we won that game. Before we move on, Ali, John Lundstrom. I can't remember it ever being so wrong about a Rangers player. Honestly, I can't remember it, and he continues to prove me wrong. Because I've said it a million times on this pod. I wouldn't have been shocked to see him leave in January, and now he is. He's just one of the most important players in that team. Him and Calvin Bassey right now are just undroppable.
Yeah, boss the midfield, Lundstrom, and he loves it, and they hate him, which I love.
They do hate him. Yeah,
I love players they hate in our team.
You can always, not that I always rate, but you can always judge how good a player we have about how much they hate him. Yeah, and
they hate him.
Yeah,
they hate him because they know. They've bullied us for years. We've not had a enforcer, if you want to say, in the middle of the park. And John Lundstrom, the last couple of games against them, has went, this is my midfield. You ain't getting nothing for me. Callum McGregor, Mascazoro, you got to call him. Absolutely nothing the last two games out of John Lundstrom. They I love the wee video when they come out of Park Care and he's just looking at them going, honest, it was brilliant. I was just, even Scott Arfield came out and done the same. I was like, he just gets it, John Lundstrom. That's what you want. But I thought he was outstanding again. I'm the same as you, Carney. I don't know how many times I've said it in the last month in this podcast. I'd written him off as well. If it went in January, it wouldn't have bothered me. But he's just the transformation in him's been mental. I always knew he was a good player at Sheffield United. I'd seen him. He was that box-to-box player would said, but I mean, he just, I don't know. The last, you got to say, 2 months there, he's been outstanding, and he just bossed that midfield once again. And like I said the other week, Carney, how we were going to be changing quite a lot of players in the summer. I build that midfield around John Lundstrom, and you've mentioned another guy, Calvin Bassey, outstanding again for that boy. 22 years of age, Calvin Bassey. I mean, folk will surely have a sniff at him in the summer, but he's been brilliant, Calvin Bassey. And once again, he was outstanding. Playing left centre half again, which isn't his position. But is it his position going forward? I don't know.
I know.
Because he's that good at it. And I do prefer him at left back, but he's played that left centre half, and Balogun's not going to get back in this Rangers team because you can't drop him. And I know Borna's up and down. That's his bloody song, as we keep saying. But Calvin Bassey for me is just a revelation. You got to say hats off to Gerrard and all that. And I don't know if it was Gerrard or Ross Wilson who got him for Leicester, I think it was. But what a signing he's been, by the way. I don't know what his value is now, but teams will be looking at him now. Nigerian internationalist as well. But his performances this season has been outstanding by him. And yeah, I hope he's at Rangers next year. I really hope, Calvin, and I think he will. But he's a guy to build a team around as well.
Yeah, I agree, Scotia. I think we maybe could have expected improvement in Lundstrom considering where he's came from and where he was playing. So you would maybe expect form to eventually come back to him, which it did. It definitely did. But the progression as a player from the last time Bassey plays, the next game he's fixing bits, he's doing different bits, and he wants to be taught, he wants to be coached, and even I seen it at one point of cameras, and he's barking orders at people. This is a 22-year-old centre back or left back. What you like? And I'm like, oh, I'm so impressed with Calvin Bassey.
Yeah, I know you don't get these kind of awards in clubs like Rangers, but in your local boys football club, most improved player, well, it's Calvin Bassey, hands down. And I'll let you say it is game on game, because last season when he started sort of playing every now and again, you could see him improving game on game there. This season, his crossing's improved massively. I've said before, having to play at left centre back has helped him positionally so much. It's still got these things that he needs to iron out there, but he's turning into a really, really valuable asset for us. And if you think that Nathan Patterson went for 60 million quid and not played anywhere near the amount of games that Bassey's played, and the fact that Bassey's now added this into his locker that he can play as a left centre back as well. He's a big unit and he's really fast. He's the kind of player that clubs want in a defender. And like Ali, I really hope we keep him for next season. But I guarantee there'll be clubs sniffing around Bassey at the moment because, both him and Lundstrom, I'd probably say are up there for player of the year, along with maybe Aribo and then Morelos and Tav, just because it's Morelos and Tav.
Aye, just because it was Morelos and Tav. I even thought Tav was better in the second half as well. I thought Tav really grew into the game. I do, but I think that all helps when we start to dominate, when we can see and you can physically see that we are fitter than Celtic. I don't think there's any doubt about it. We look fitter than them all over the park. Even with the strength of their bench, they decide to bring on Tom Rogic as well, who tows a caravan everywhere he goes. And I just thought, overall, we just looked a fitter team in the end. And as I say, as a Celtic fan, honestly, that would worry me because of the amount of football we've played. It really would. But yeah, that'll do us for the Old Firm game. Before we move on to the kind of main event, I suppose, just a word from our sponsors, Manscaped. Summer is here, the sun is shining, shirts are off, and your friends at Manscaped are here to make sure your beach balls are as smooth as Floridian sand. Dive head first into summer by joining the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and get ready for summer by going to manscaped.com. Use the code CLUB@22 for 20% off and free shipping. The Manscaped Performance Package has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver, the Ball Toner, which is Scotia's favourite, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Want to take your grooming game even further? Take a look at the Manscaped Shears 2.0, a package that has everything you need to pristine nail cutters, tweezers, grooming scissors. With the Performance Package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure you cover the rest with the Shears 2.0. You're ready to perform from head to toe. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. This is the summer to turn your package into the full package with Manscaped. What will your balls do, Scotia?
Nabel, thank you.
God, took your time there, didn't you?
Of all times to
Honestly,
have a delay, all times that you had his Wi-Fi decides to play up a wee bit, it's at that point.
The Wi-Fi's playing a wee bit bad,
Hey, your dad's cycling quicker.
I know, give them a shout. So thank you again to Manscaped for their continued support. Their products really are superb, so go check it out. And by using our code CLUB@22, you'll be helping this podcast. So thank you, everybody. Now, the most important game, the main event, if you will. Probably one of the biggest games in our lifetimes. Rangers welcome Leipzig to Ibrox for the second leg of the semi-final in the Europa League, where we are 1 goal down, but 2 goals away from a place in the final of the Europa League. Ali, can you remember a game as big as this, or as big as this feels?
Well, I've probably go back to when we played Fiorentina at Ibrox, but like I say, that was the first leg. This is the second leg. This is And back in 2008, we were a different team. We weren't great to watch, and we were kind of limping through rounds. But we're a good team in Europe this season, especially at Ibrox. This is massive. It's unbelievably big this Thursday. I just wanted Sunday out the way. I wanted it out the way. I wanted to spoil our wee party if we could, put it in ice for a week or whatever it is, and we did. So, and it's given us more momentum going into Thursday. But the atmosphere on Thursday night, Carney, is going to be next level. It really is. I mean, we've had special nights at Ibrox this season, Dortmund, Braga. This is going to be, if Rangers do it, oh my God, that place will melt. Honestly, the noise levels. I'd love to get one of the sound things that measures the sound or whatever. It'll be frightening, but it's got to be the biggest game in our lifetime. I know. Obviously, when we got to UEFA Cup final, that is, but this is huge. This is huge because we have a chance. There's a chance if we put Leipzig out, a big chance we could win this Europa League. It's mouthwatering, man. I just can't wait for Thursday. I just want it now.
Same. I can't stop thinking about it, man. It's like, right, okay. I'm kind of glad I took yesterday off. Kind of helped me kind of not think about it as much because I was recovering, and I just can't wait, man. I can't remember ever feeling like this about a game, going to Ibrox and thinking what this is all about. And yeah, I always look forward to going to Ibrox, but this is just different. It's literally all I can think about right now. Scotia, are you the same? This is up there with the biggest ever.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was thinking about it today, actually, and like Pearson says there, the game against Fiorentina at Ibrox in 2008, it was the first leg. And I was trying to think back to how I felt going along, because I went along to the game with Ali that day, and I was feeling really excited about it, but there was that nervousness as well because of how we were playing and how well Fiorentina, I think, had been playing up to that period in Europe that season. I was then thinking about the return leg out in Florence, and I remember being absolutely buzzing for that. But it's different because I was sitting in a flat with quite a few of our mates just getting ready for it. But the feeling for it was really exciting, and the feeling afterwards was one of the best feelings I've ever had supporting Rangers. But going to Ibrox for this, when the ties is evenly balanced as it is, with just that one goal advantage for Leipzig, I am really, really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be incredible. It's going to be so much better than the Dortmund game. I think the Dortmund game was big for who the name was.
We lost him. Oh, he's back. Oh, no, now it's going to cause all sorts of chaos. I shouldn't have said anything. You were...
Where did they get to?
I can't...
I could hear
Dortmund, you mentioned Dortmund. Oh, could you? Oh, it must have been me.
Sorry,
Sorry, everybody. I've made an ass of that.
That's okay. Yeah, no, so Dortmund was big, but I think that was who the team were rather than anything. This one at Ibrox on Thursday evening is just going to be incredible. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Can't wait. And the feeling that if we do manage to get the result, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic night. Yeah,
it really is. It's going to be something to remember. It really is. Apologies everybody there. It must have been my Wi-Fi that actually dropped out. I say it all the time, this is a professional podcast, so sorry, that was my fault. Sorry, Scotia, I cut you off in your prime there, mate. But in for a tough game. We're in for a tough game, Ali. I don't think there's any great doubt about that. This is going to be a tough old game. They had a game on Monday night, but it was a much changed team. They played Borussia Mönchengladbach, and they were beat 3-1, but it was a very, very changed side. So on to the game itself, mate. What do you think is going to be key for Rangers on Thursday night? One thing I will say from reports that David Edgar was saying on Heart and Hand, obviously he had a chance to speak to the players after the game, I think, in Germany, that I think the players really feel like they could do something here, and they almost feel like it, dare I say it is their destiny for this trophy.
Yeah, there was an air of, I don't know if you want to call it confidence, but yeah, they were confident Rangers. Not arrogant or anything, but they think they can do this, Rangers. They really do. And they should. They shouldn't go in fearing Leipzig. I thought Leipzig were a good team. They are a good team. Are they the best team we've played in Europe? Probably not. I'd put them up with a Lyon, possibly. I'd put them on that kind of level. I've had to put them in a kind of bracket of teams we've played. And I know Lyon beat us this season. We drew against them, but like I've said, we're a bit of a different animal now in Europe, so it'll be hard. I know they get beat 3-1 on Monday night there, but I'm not reading into that. Put that away. That doesn't mean that they're dead in their
It was,
feet now.
I think there was 8 or 9 changes to the starting 11.
Aye, so I'm not reading into that.
Shows you how much they're taking this seriously, but it shows you how much that they're worrying about coming to Ibrox as well.
Of course, because they would have seen teams come to Ibrox this season, and let's be honest about it, Rangers have battered teams at Ibrox.
Yeah.
Even Dortmund, and Dortmund are a very, very good team, and we should have won that game 3-2. And the atmosphere will be key. The first, I know what you're asking, but the first goal, Carney, is massive. We need to get the first goal. If Leipzig get the first goal, I just think 2 goals to make 2 goals back. I think that's possibly beyond us. I know we've done. Anyway. I know, but I just think psychologically, the players, us as the fans, going 2 down. I know I've seen Rangers come back before, but I really think the first goal is key. Similar to when we played Dortmund, we get the first goal. I know the first tie, the result was in our favour, but the first goal is key. But like I said on the previous pods, I think Leipzig will come and give us the ball and let us come at them, and they'll want to hit us on the break. They've been Atalanta and beating them away from home. I think they'll be confident coming here and scoring. I think they will score, Leipzig and Ibrox. I think we need to strap ourselves in for a potentially long night on Thursday night, which is not going to be great. But like I say, we've got a huge chance, but do not write that Leipzig team off, because they're a very good team, technically very good. And like I say, I think they will sit back and give us the ball and try and look to hit us on a break.
Yeah, I think so as well. They beat Atlanta by doing that in Italy. They were frighteningly quick on the counter attack. I watched their highlights after that game, and they're very fast at breaking. So it's something that Rangers definitely need to be prepared for. Scotia, what's key for you, and is it a concern that we didn't rest a few more of our big hitters, if you like, in the team on Sunday? Do you think legs might be an issue?
No, Pot, not really. No, because the only one there that I would have always kept the back line the same for the Old Firm, regardless. You know, we had this coming up, and given the options we had, no, I probably wouldn't have changed it overly much. So I'm not overly concerned in terms of our levels of fitness, because if you look at what we've done the last few games, we've been finishing games really, really strongly and looking really, really fit. So I think the players are all kind of at this level where they're not burnt out at the moment. They look as if they're in peak condition to go into this. So in terms of the Rangers kind of threat there, I'm feeling fairly comfortable. My only concern is obviously, is Roof going to be fit or not? And
he's dropped out there.
The lack of cutting instinct up front. Although Sakala's gone in and done that there. But in terms of Leipzig, I know you're saying there that they made loads of changes for the game on Monday night there. I would say that 3 of those players that came in were the 3 that were suspended for the game in Leipzig. So I would have expected them to start anyway if they were available. And the other changes that they've made, they're not players that are downgrades in who they're switching out for. But again, I wouldn't read too much into the result last night, because I think they'll probably be up for this as well. But yeah, I'm similar to Ali in terms of what we need to do. We need to make sure we score first. I'm not saying we need to score early, but I think we definitely need to make sure we score first, because although to be fair, the crowd at Ibrox and European nights, if we went a goal down, hasn't turned into mumbles and groans. We've got right behind the team again. So even if that does happen, going past experiences this season in Europe, we should be okay with the crowd there. But I really think we need to score first.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to score first. That's one thing I will say, and I will agree with you that I don't think it has to be. It doesn't have to be early. It really doesn't. And you are right about the crowd. The crowd. We stay with the team on nights like this because really, we're not meant to be here. That's probably why we are punching above our weight in terms of the way these competitions are structured. We're not meant to be here. So, and to go on and do this would be the most momentous thing ever to happen in my lifetime. It really would be. It would literally be, if Rangers were to go all the way and do this, it would be the best day of my life, and I've got no shame in admitting that. It would be the best day of my life. And I thought 55 was good, but my God, this would be out of this world. It really would be. The noise at Ibrox is going to play a massive part, and I genuinely believe we're about to witness something that we've never seen before. I think it's going to be hairs on end stuff. I'm actually going to try and get to Ibrox early on Thursday because I want to be there and I want to feel it all and I want to soak it all in, because I think it's going to be something to truly remember. And I just hope at the end of it, we come out of that and we get ourselves into our final of the Europa League. It would just be majestic. It really would be. And if you think I'm feeling it was good before, wait till you hear it. If that happens, I'm feeling it will be unbelievable. Really, but you hear it for space, it'll be that good. Right, we'll move on to the teams then, what we think it's going to be, and then we'll come to scores after that. So Ali, what is your team?
McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Bassey, Barisic, Jack, Lundstrom. This is one where I think we all might kind of potentially change. I think he likes Kamara in European ties, so Kamara comes in there. Up top, Ryan Kent. Kamara Roof will start, even if we get 60 minutes out of him, and Joe Aribo. That's my team.
Yeah. No, I'm not picking Kamara. I'm not, definitely not for me. I'll go with McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Bassey, Lundstrom, Jack, Aribo, Kent, Wright, and Roof is what my team would be. The reason that I'm putting Bassey at left back is I think he is much better at carrying the ball forward than Borna Barisic is, and he's braver than Barisic is going forward. And we have to be brave. We're going to really need to be brave on Thursday night. So Balogun's an out-and-out centre-back. If he's fit enough, I would play him. I agree. I think Kamara Roof will play regardless, even if he's had a 40 million pain injections. I reckon Kamara Roof plays. I don't think he would even want to miss this. But I think Bassey is key for getting us up the park. Him and James Tavernier are going to play a pretty massive part, I think. So that would be my team. Scotia?
Yeah, backline of McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Bassey and Barisic, Lundstrom and Jack in the midfield, Roof, Kent, and then here's one as well for you. If Ramsey's fit, do I start Ramsey or not? I'm not entirely sure. I might hold him off to come on later on. So, but he's been giving me issues, so I'm going to go with Aribo and Sakala as well up top.
I don't know if we can take a risk by playing Aaron Ramsey. Ali, what do you think if Ramsey's fit? Is it a risk? Well, yeah, because he doesn't exactly. He's lost yet more footballing time, and he wasn't exactly looking sharp before. So I don't know if I get it, because his footballing brain is literally the best that we have at the club. But it's a massive game to drop him into.
No, I wouldn't play him. He's not played since, when was the last game he played again? It was the Celtic game at Ibrox, was it not? It was the last game he played.
No, Hampden. Was it not Hampden?
No, Hampden.
Did he play Hampden? No. Oh, he did. He came off Hampden injured.
Aye, because he come off injured at Hampden. I know it was. I was like, no, it definitely was.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't play him. I know Tommy said he was up at his golf club the other day swinging balls, but no. No, it's too big a game. And I know folk will say, he's Aaron Ramsey, he's played in massive games. And like you say, Carney, he's got football and brain. But we are quite fortunate in the midfield. We do have options. So it's a no for me. If he's available for the bench, put him on the bench, definitely. But it's a no for me with Ramsey.
Yeah, I'm not. Scotia, you've answered that question, so there's not really much point me coming back to you about it. Scotia, you can go first. What's your score going to be?
Right, I'm going to go for 3-1 Rangers, because I can't be dealing with a 2-1 Rangers. So 3-1 Rangers. Wait, Tav to score first. And we're done in 90 minutes so that we can all go out and celebrate for a wee bit before the pubs close.
Yeah, don't. When you hear my score. Ali, what's yours?
Strap yourselves in, lads. It's going to extra time. I'm going 2-1. I think we will score first. I even think we might go 2. I think it might go very similar to Braga. I think we might potentially go 2 up and they'll get a nick a goal or something the usual, and it'll go extra time, and it won't go to penalties. So I think we'll do a Braga potentially again. So 3-1 going into extra time, and a winning goal. The guy to score the winning goal is going to be the man for Zambia.
Fashion Sakala. I'm going for 2-1 after 90 minutes. I'm going 3-2 after extra time. And we are going to penalties.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we are going to penalties. And scoring the winning penalty will be
Diallo.
Mate, I wouldn't put that past them. Scoring the winning penalty will be Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack will score the winning penalty, and we'll go through.
I couldn't deal with penalties, can I?
Look at that, mate.
Oh,
Look,
God.
I never get the scores right, mate, so I wouldn't worry about that. But I think there's definitely potential for extra time here. I think we all know that. There is a real chance that this could go to extra time. But, man, I can't stop smiling when I'm thinking about it. Literally, when we're speaking about this, and my face is getting a bit sore because I just can't stop smiling. Thinking about what we're about to witness and what we're about to be a part of, it's really going to be absolutely superb. It really is. So, right, that'll do us for tonight, gentlemen. Ali, thank you very much, mate, and I'll see you on Thursday.
You will indeed. I can't wait for it. I want Thursday to hurry up now. I would say all the Rangers fans out there, though, if this result does not go the way we want it to go, please, everyone, and I mean every Rangers fan, stay to the end of that whistle and clap that team for what they've done in Europe this season. We're not supposed to be in semi-finals Europa League, so if it doesn't go our way, and I hope I'm completely wrong when I say that, please stay and give the players an applause what they deserve. But I think there's something special, Carney, I do, and I'm feeling it.
Yeah, oh God, mate, honestly, special nights happen at Ibrox, we all know that, but I echo that, mate. This team deserve praise coming off that pitch no matter what happens tomorrow night, Thursday night. See, I'm already hoping it was sooner than what it is. Scotia, thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Like you there, I just can't wait for Thursday to come around, and yeah, hopefully we go out and do it, and I'll see everyone in Seville.
It's going to be so many people in that apartment, mate.
No, we are. See the amount of folk in the quayside that are looking for some digs.
So many people. So yes, that will do us tonight. We do roll on to Thursday. Still time to order the t-shirts. If you would like to, the link for that is below. Thank you to everybody that has done so far. Just so everybody knows, I'm waiting for all the orders to come in. I'm doing them in batches. It makes more sense. I can control it better when I do that. So the first one is Sunday. Sunday, I think 6 p.m. I think I put Sunday at 6 p.m. If your order ins before then your order will get placed and I'll get them to you as soon as I can. But thank you to everybody. The response has been superb. So thank you to everybody. As always, please like the videos and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will be back with a club reaction pod on Thursday from somewhere at some time, depending on whatever we get out of Ibrox and whatever state we're in. We will definitely bring you some form of reaction. So until then, thank you for tuning in. Play up the famous Glasgow Rangers. Do it for Jimmy, and Ibrox, bring the noise. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and I'll speak to you all next time. Cheers, everybody.